Charles Barkley commented on politics and the media on NBA on TNT yesterday. So let's listen to him first here, go after CNN.
And to be honest with you, CNN has done an awful job this election, an awful job. They have followed ratings and sound bites this entire cycle. Think about it. And I love CNN because they're part of our company, but they've been kissing butt, chasing ratings. They become like Fox News for the Republicans, to be honest with you. They follow every single soundbite just to get ratings for these debates. And it's been sad and frustrating that our company has sold their soul for ratings.
Okay, that's awesome for a variety of reasons. But first of all, he's saying this on TNT. TNT and CNN have the same parent company. So if anybody, is the top brass of CNN, or what is it, Turner Companies, or whatever the fuck it's called, they could look at him and say, all right, we might need to take some disciplinary action, or we might need to limit his role or whatever. And Charles Barkley doesn't give a shit. And he's been like this for the longest time, man. There are times where he says stuff and I'm face-palming and I'm like, that's not true, and you just made an ass of yourself. But even when he's wrong, you know that he's being honest and it's coming from a genuine place of concern and what he really thinks. And it's no holds barred. And he's going to say whatever the fuck he's thinking, no filter. And by the way, that's why NBA on TNT is a fantastic show, and they've always had great ratings. And they don't need to do it by cheating. They don't need to do it by, fake beefing up ratings like CNN does by doing tricks. So let's get to the heart of the issue here. What is Charles Barkley talking about? Well, he's talking about the various biases in the media. So he says very simply, it's all for ratings. They're doing a terrible job for ratings. That's true, but let's get more specific. As I see it, CNN has three major biases. Number one is the establishment bias. And that one's simple. It's easy to explain. They're part of the establishment. So if you're part of the establishment, who are you more likely to represent, and what kind of a worldview are you more likely to depict? One that serves your audience, the audience being the establishment. So you have lobbyists and big money interests giving money to politicians, and their campaigns, and then the campaigns spend a lot of money on political advertisements, so they work with the networks. They have a close relationship with the networks, and the networks are, not going to be super hard on all the different establishment political candidates because, they're all part of the same club. They literally go to the same country clubs and the same parties, and they know the same people, and they're all part of the elite. So that's bias number one, the establishment bias. Bias number two at CNN is what's called the neutrality bias, which is the idea that you take objectivity out of the picture because sometimes the truth can be something that a lot of the audience won't like or half the audience won't like, and they'll feel like you're biased and you're alienating me by caring about facts. So you take truth and objectivity out of the picture and you replace that with neutrality. Get rid of objectivity, give me neutrality. Neutrality means no matter what the issue, I don't give a shit. Tell me it's 50-50. So if it's climate change, bring on a scientist to say climate change is real, and then bring on a dumbass Republican politician to say, no, it's not. And then say, oh, all right, there it is, moving on to the next segment. And people get the feeling that, I guess, it's not a settled issue because you just had two people debate it, and you posed it as if it's 50-50. I guess that is what it is. Even fucking evolution versus intelligent design or creationism. This is something where they have had debates on mainstream networks about this stuff. Again, showing it as if it's 50-50. And it's really a gross thing because many people will not catch on to this. They'll think this is CNN actually being objective by having the debate. But again, it's not objective because sometimes we already have the answers. Sometimes we already know, yes, cigarettes cause cancer. Yes, climate change is happening. Yes, the Democrats are actually right when they say, if you cut taxes, you're going to create a bigger hole in the deficit, so the Republicans make no sense when they say we're going to cut taxes and decrease the deficit. If you say this, they'll say liberal bias. No, but fine, call it a liberal bias, but it's also a bias towards truth. In other words, it's just caring about the facts, caring about truth. So the weird thing is, it would actually be more biased to do the 50-50 nonsense, because then you're treating the conservatives with kid gloves, and you're not telling them when they're actually wrong. And then the third one, the third bias here, which is exactly what Charles Barkley is talking about, is what's called the sensationalism bias, which is, okay, we have to get ratings, and in order to get ratings, we're not going to do the hard work. We're not going to have genuinely entertaining shows that are educational and that give people what they're looking for in terms of news. What we're going to do is we're going to cheat. So, for example, one thing CNN is known for now is abusing the breaking news banner, because their internal numbers show they do better when there is a breaking news incident. So now they'll put stuff like, breaking news, the Titanic sank 102 years ago today. Not kidding, we covered the story on the show. Breaking news, kids are violating the sleigh ban when it was snowing at Capitol Hill. This is stuff they put breaking news for. So they're cheating. They're cheating. Think of it like this, man. You're tired. You haven't slept in 2 days. What should you do? Go to sleep. Wake up in 8 hours or 9 hours from now. Rest up. And then you wake up and you're ready to go. You're ready to face the world. You're not cheating if you do that. CNN does the equivalent of, they've been up for 2 days and they're like, all right, give me another Monster Energy or two. I'll pound those and I'll try to stay up for another day. You're cheating. You're not doing the thing that you should be doing. And Donald Trump's another great example. So they'll do some little news stories here and there, and then boom, sprinkle in a story about Kim Kardashian's ass cheeks. Or boom, look, Donald Trump, so wacky, look at what he said. Let's cover him 23 more times than Bernie Sanders, which is what the nightly news did. Why? Because of exactly what Charles Barkley is talking about. It is a ratings bonanza, and they understand that by doing this, they briefly spike the ratings, and that'll lead to more advertisers giving them more money. But I'm here to tell them, in the long run, it ain't gonna fucking work. So that's why there's actually a positive thing to say at the end of this story. Rarely there is on Secular Talk, I know. But this is why new media in the long run is just absolutely going to kick the ass of old media. And we're already kind of doing it right now. If you compare Secular Talk's YouTube numbers for a full day, so the analytics for a day, and you compare that to 2 hours of Wolf Blitzer being on in the middle of the day on CNN, we blow him out of the water. We blow him out of the water. He gets around, depending on, what's happening in the key demo, he'll get around like 60,000 to 100,000 viewers. Whereas here, we get about 250,000. And about 200,000 of them are in the key demographic. So we're basically doubling Wolf Blitzer. So we're already winning now. Imagine what it's going to be like in the long run. Because they're cheating to get their temporary decent numbers with breaking news. Oh my God, look, Kim Kardashian. Donald Trump's so wacky. Whereas what are we doing? I like to think I'm doing something that's entertaining and informative, where it's not cheap. I'm really trying to dive into the issues and get into the specifics and care about policy and educate people because I fucking care about it. So, Charles Barkley pointing out the problems with the media, he's 100% right to, but I have to say, don't worry, Charles, somebody's picking up the slack.